In the vast, intricate tapestry of the natural world, some lives are lived with an intensity that is almost impossible for us to comprehend. They are not measured in years or even months, but in a frantic, fleeting handful of weeks. This is the story of one such life, a worker honeybee. Her existence is a whirlwind of ceaseless activity, a sprint from birth to death that spans a mere 45 days. In this brief window, she will perform over 24 distinct roles, each one vital, each one demanding, with no time for rest or reprieve. Her life is a testament to dedication, a story of sacrifice written in moments, not memories. From the very instant she emerges, a newly formed adult, her purpose is already defined. There is no childhood, no period of learning at a gentle pace. The needs of the colony are immediate and all-consuming. Her journey begins not with a grand welcome, but with a humble yet essential task. She must clean the very cell from which she was born, preparing it for the next generation that is already on its way. This is her reality, a world of perpetual motion where every individual is a cog in a perfectly synchronized machine. Imagine a life where every waking moment is dedicated to the survival of your community, where your own needs are secondary to the greater good. It is a life of extraordinary discipline and unwavering focus. Her first job? Janitor. Welcome to the hive. She begins in darkness in the warm, humming heart of the hive. Her first act upon breaking free from her waxy cradle is not one of rest or orientation. It is an act of service. She meticulously cleans her own birth cell, polishing the hexagonal walls until they gleam, making it pristine and ready for the queen to lay another egg. This is not a choice. It is an instinct, a deep-seated command to maintain the immaculate order of the nursery. Her world for these first few days is confined to this small yet crucial task. She is the unseen custodian of the future. Once her own cell is prepared, she moves to others, a tiny janitor on a relentless mission. She is one of thousands, working in unison to ensure the hive's perpetual cycle of life continues unbroken. She consumes leftover pollen and cocoons, recycling every last resource. There is no concept of waste here, only of purpose. She is preparing the foundation for her sisters, the very bees. She will soon be tasked with feeding and nurturing. Her life has just begun. Yet she is already deeply entwined in the survival of all.
2, 5, 7.
Having mastered her cleaning duties, she graduates to a role of immense responsibility. She is now a nurse, entrusted with the hive's most precious asset, its young. The nursery is a sea of tiny, white, C-shaped larvae, each one a potential sister, each one utterly dependent on her care. She moves from cell to cell with a quiet urgency, a living embodiment of maternal instinct, though she will never have offspring of her own. Her antennae twitch, tasting and smelling the air, assessing the needs of each individual grub. She will visit a single larva thousands of times during its development. Her work is tireless. For the first 3 days, she feeds the larvae a rich protein-packed substance called royal jelly, secreted from glands in her own head. After that, most are weaned onto a diet of bee bread, a mixture of honey and pollen. She must ensure each one receives the precise amount of food at the right time. She's a babysitter to hundreds and never complains. This is a critical phase. The health of these future workers, drones, and even queens rests entirely on the quality of her care. She is the lifeblood of the next generation. As she matures, a new ability awakens within her. Specialized glands on her abdomen begin to secrete tiny, delicate flakes of wax. Her role shifts once more from nurturer to creator. She becomes an architect and an engineer, responsible for building and maintaining the very structure of her world. Consuming vast amounts of honey to fuel this biological factory, she produces the raw material for the hive's expansion. Each flake is a perfect building block, meticulously harvested and shaped by her mandibles. With this wax, she and her sisters construct one of nature's most perfect structures, the honeycomb. The hexagonal cells are a marvel of engineering efficiency, providing the maximum storage space with the minimum amount of material. She works with a precision that is innate, a blueprint coded into her DNA. No human architect matches this perfection. She builds new cells for honey storage and for the queen to lay eggs in, and she diligently repairs any damage to the existing comb, ensuring the integrity of their home is never compromised.
2, 5.
Her responsibilities now draw her towards the edge of the hive, to the bustling entrance that serves as the border between her safe world and the dangerous one outside. She becomes a sentinel, a guard. Stationed at the hive's threshold, she is the first line of defense against a host of threats. Wasps, robber bees from other colonies, even larger creatures. She uses her antennae to inspect every incoming bee, smelling for the unique pheromonal signature of her own colony. Friend is distinguished from foe in a fraction of a second. This vigilance is a matter of life and death for the colony. A single intruder could wreak havoc, stealing precious resources or spreading disease, but her role has a grimmer side. She is also the undertaker. When a sister dies within the hive, from age, illness or injury, she must be removed. She and other undertakers will carry the fallen, sometimes flying them a considerable distance from the hive to prevent the spread of pathogens. She protects the hive and buries the fallen, a dual role of guardian and gravedigger, performed with solemn efficiency. Now, working deep within the hive again, she takes on a multitude of roles simultaneously. She is a vital link in the food production chain. When forager bees return laden with nectar, they pass it to her mouth to mouth. She then spends up to 20 minutes adding her own enzymes to the nectar, passing it to other bees, and gradually reducing its water content. This is the slow, painstaking process that transforms watery nectar into thick, stable honey. She is a chef, diligently preparing the colony's essential energy source, but her work doesn't stop there. She also packs pollen, brought back by foragers, into cells, creating the bee bread that feeds the larvae. And as the hive heats up under the sun, she becomes part of the air conditioning unit. She and hundreds of others will stand and beat their wings in unison, creating a powerful airflow that ventilates the hive and keeps the temperature stable for the developing brood. She's part chef, part AC, part storage manager, a master of multitasking, ensuring the hive functions like a well-oiled machine.
2, 5, 7.
Her life has reached its final, most perilous chapter. Her internal clock has shifted, her body has prepared, and now she is called to the great outdoors. For the first time, she leaves the familiar darkness of the hive and flies into the blinding light of the sun. She is now a forager. This is the most dangerous job of all, the role in which the vast majority of worker bees will meet their end. Her mission is to gather the resources that sustain the entire colony: nectar, pollen, water, and propolis. She will fly for miles, a tiny vessel navigating a vast and hostile world. She faces sudden rainstorms, powerful winds, and a constant barrage of predators: birds, spiders, dragonflies. Every trip is a gamble. She may visit hundreds of flowers just to fill her honey stomach with a minuscule payload. She spends her last days flying miles for one drop of nectar. Her body is aging, her wings are becoming tattered and frayed from the relentless flight, but she does not stop. The drive to provide for her sisters is all that matters.
2, 5, 7.
Her end is near. Her wings, having beaten millions of times, are now frayed to the point of failure. Her body, pushed to its absolute limit, is exhausted. Often her final journey is a one-way trip. She simply lacks the strength to make it back home, her life given in the service of gathering one last drop of nectar. But if a direct threat to her home should arise, her final act is the ultimate sacrifice. The worker bee's stinger is barbed. To use it is to commit an act of fatal self-disembowelment. She will only sting to defend her colony, a final, desperate act to protect the family she has worked her entire life to support. As the stinger lodges in the threat, it tears free from her abdomen, and she dies minutes later. She never mates, she never rests, she gives everything, then dies. Her individual life, so brief and so full of labor, is extinguished for the survival of the whole. It is the final, heartbreaking line in a story of absolute devotion.
2, 5, 7.
So the next time you see a single bee buzzing diligently from flower to flower, remember the universe of work that defines its existence. In just 45 short days, she is a cleaner, a nurse, an architect, a guard, a processor, and a provider. She is the engine of the hive, the silent hero whose relentless labor makes life possible for the thousands of sisters she will never know. Her life is not one of individual glory, but of collective triumph. It's a story of sacrifice, efficiency, and a dedication so profound it borders on the sacred. She is a reminder that the most significant contributions often come from the most humble of creatures. Her legacy is not in a long life, but in the richness of the life she supports, in the golden honey, the pollinated crops that feed our world, and the continuation of her colony against all odds. Respect the worker bee. She works harder in 45 days than most do in a lifetime. Her story is a powerful lesson in purpose and community, a life given completely to the greater good. We explore these hidden worlds to understand the intricate connections that bind our planet together. The story of the worker bee is just one of millions, each one as fascinating and vital as the last. If you found her story as moving as we did, please help us share it. Like, share and subscribe to Zaratia TV for more truth behind nature's tiniest hero.